All right, this is Math 1, your final benchmark, number 23. The table gives several input-output pairs of an exponential function. Which are correct representations of the function? Select all that apply. All right, so the first thing we need to do is say, what is our input and output? So we know that x is our input, y is our output, and in function notation, y is the same thing as f of x. So we can see that this is our output and x is our input. So for this, it's easy to just plug this in the calculator and see it says select all that apply. So we know that we're going to have more than one answer. And so let's just plug in and see which one of these represents what we have here. So I'm going to pull up my calculator. And so the first equation is 5 times 2 raised to the 2x power. So if I just type in 5 and do parentheses 2 and then raise that to the 2 times x. And the first x is 0. And that gives us 5. So the first number worked for the first equation. So let's check the next one. You can't always tell just by one point, so you need to check all or at least multiple points. So 2 times x, the next x is 1. And that one is 20, so that is not the correct answer. So we can see that, we can mark out A, and then we continue to the next, to B equation, and see if we can figure out if it works. So for B, it says 5 times 2 raised to the 3 to the x, or times x. So we're going to have 5 times 2 raised to the, and we're going to do 3 times 0 to begin with. And that gives us 5. So again, the first one works on the second equation. So we're going to do 5 times 2 raised to the 3 times x is going to be 1 this time. Okay, that one says 40. So far, so good. So we're going to do 5 times 2. And then we're going to do 3 times the next input, which is 2. And we got 320, so that one works. So it looks like this is going to be an answer. Let's do 5 times 2 raised to the 3 times, and the last input is 3. And that gives us 2,560. So we can see that when we plugged each input in, we got the correct output. So we know that B is the correct answer. All right, so let's check the next one. So if we go to the next one, let's clear this. So we're going to do 5 times 3 raised to, and this one has 2 times x. So 2 times 0 to begin with, and that gives us 5. So far, so good. So 5 times 3 raised to the 2 times 1. Now you see how I put these in parentheses because I want to do order of operations. You need to do parentheses to make sure that you do the exponents before you multiply, etc. All right, so on C part, when I plug in 1, I get 45 instead of 40. So that one is not a correct answer. So I don't have to go on. Once I get one incorrect answer, I know that I can move on. All right, so then I'm going to have the next one says 5 times 4. And that one's going to be raised to the x power. So the first one is 0. That's going to be 5. And then 5 times 4 raised to the first power, 20. So that one is not correct. So we can mark this one out. And then we're going to check the last one. So the last one says 5 times 8 raised to the x power. So 0 is the first one. 5 times 8 raised to the first power is 40. That one works. 5 times 8 raised to the second power, 320. That one works. And 5 times 8 raised to the third power, 2,560. So you can see that that one works as well. All right, so for number 23, your correct answers are B and E.